Stage 2 Graphics and Architecture Skills Portfolio. The brief for our first skills task, 3D modeling, was to design a standalone cafe, restaurant, or bar with a constraint of 50 square meter. It then would be produced and represented as a 3D model considering inside, outside, space arrangement. Moving on to our second skills task, 2D graphics, we were given the task to export our model views and digitally render these using image manipulation and 2D visualization techniques. In addition to this, an architectural drawing was required as a 2D vector graphic, e.g. floor plan. During the specialized skills task, I found myself having to overcome many different problems, from my SketchUp model to my render in Photoshop. However, from all these problems, I found myself coming up with many solutions, as I discovered new skills and also reinforced old skills which will play a vital role in my major project. An issue I discovered during the skills task 1 was the roof aspect of the cafe, as I wasn't sure what style roof suited my cafe. After educating myself with some tutorials of Gleason from YouTube, I decided to construct my own corrugated roof, which I have now saved for the major product, as it can now be used as a guide or a direct component copy. In this process of constructing the roof, I had a range of difficulties as I was struggling to draw each sheet of 1.5 meters by 2 meters, as it was too time consuming and realized it would have taken too long to cover the 48 meter squared area required. My solution to this was using the Move tool and the Copy tool to duplicate the sheeting I had previously been drawing. I then moved and copied the sheeting across. This process was then followed and repeated until I covered the entire roof. Another issue I faced during this task was during the process of constructing my panel. I discovered that the panel would have to be on an angle, as the north and east point of the cafe didn't meet directly, as I had my door on an angle between these 2 points, and for the panel to cover an equal space I needed to follow the same angle as the door, or else the panel would be too far out. This was overcome as I drew the line I needed the panel to sit on and started to sketch the panel onto the line, where I then used the push-pull tool to select this and pull down until it was level with the other side. I then repeated this process until I covered the frontage. An issue I faced during Skills Task 2 was merging my background together with my cafe, as I wasn't sure with the perspective I wanted, as I was struggling to find images that would suit. However, after looking through some of PLY Architecture's work, I decided on my perspective, as I wanted to have a high view perspective, as if you were looking down from a high point, which I then altered images to give the impression of a rooftop cafe. This was accomplished by using tools such as Burn and Dodge, which allowed me to darken and lighten objects which were below the cafe, as they would receive limited amount of direct sunlight, and lighten objects which would receive direct sunlight. I then needed to use Command U, which allowed me to alter the hue, saturation, and brightness of the buildings, as I needed to make them seem faded and in the distance. This was also done by turning the opacity of the image down. This can be seen with the buildings behind the cafe. If I had longer for any of the tasks, I would want to improve my 3D model from Skills Task 1 of the cafe, as if realism was taken into account, I could see myself wanting to develop the front panel of the cafe further, as there is no drainage system compared to the rest of the cafe, so metaphorically, if there was to be large rainfall, water would constantly be falling next to the seating area, so walking in and out the cafe would just be uncomfortable. A solution to this would be to refine the back end of the panel to have a 15-degree fall, which would just be enough to encourage rainfall retrievement on the roof to the gutters. I would also add guards onto the sides to prevent any leakage. This improvement would allow the building to remain visually appealing and would not detract from the aesthetic of the cafe. Another improvement I see appropriate if I were to redo the task would be my render regarding the seating in front of the cafe, which I have kept consistent with my SketchUp model. However, if I were to redo this task, I would crop these out and replace them with 2D images from Stylecook Garber. I have developed a wide range of skills from each task, which will have a significant role in the development of my major product. Examples of this was during Skills Task 1, I took the orientation of the cafe into consideration, as having a sustainable orientation is vital, as I plan to transfer this design feature across my major product, and am considering designing a holiday house, and having a suitable orientation will be essential in assisting in the home sustainability and energy efficiency. The cafe is positioned to face northeast. This direction allows for direct sunlight to be absorbed, and white walls have been used in the interior to reflect this light and making it feel more spacious. This is something that I will consider when planning my major product. The skills task 2 will help me in developing my major product, as I choose to do a full drawing set consisting of floor plans, elevations and vector drawings. And having done a floor plan for the cafe, I now feel more confident in doing so for my major product, as I have discovered many new skills which will aid in constructing my drawing set for my major product. An example of this is now being able to export a parallel projection top view using the section plane from SketchUp and then creating a precise 2D graphic displaying the layout of the cafe. Now that I have an advanced understanding of Photoshop and the tools used in manipulating images and have learned many 2D visualization techniques, some being able to create a reflection as can be seen on the cafe's windows. This was done by taking the image, placing it over the window and turning the opacity down. This is something I could see myself doing in my major product. These 3 new skills and many more will benefit me in the development of my major product.